Hey guys, you're watching Force Forward, where we talk to some of the most innovative and disruptive leaders about what business looks like tomorrow. And today we're going to be discussing how to return to the workplace during a global pandemic. And before I introduce today's guests, I want to begin with a quick statistic that actually came in from the George Mason University Center for the Advancement of Wellbeing and the Wellbeing Lab, which found that 80% of American workers aren't feeling fully positive about returning back to work. So I'm here to introduce two special guests who are helping find a solution for employees to get back to work safely. So with that, I'm going to turn it over and introduce Josh Wand. He is the founder of ForceBrands and Pinata, and Ian Ferguson, who is the COO of Pinata. And they are the brains behind this new software platform called Hayday. Hey guys.
Hey, how are you?
So to kick things off, I want to actually ping this over to you, Ian. I'd love for you to describe what Hayday is.
Yeah, so Hayday is the newest application on top of a enterprise software platform that we've been building at Pinata for the past few years as a tech startup. Hayday specifically is a new solution for health screening mid and post soon, hopefully, pandemic of COVID, as teams think about returning to on-site work or managing remote teams and are communicating around health and wellness, risk, liability, and maintaining safe and healthy workplace throughout the duration.
And I want to ask you, Josh, I want to turn it over to you. How has the current climate inspired the Pinata team to leverage technology in a really impactful way?
In true entrepreneurial spirit. I mean, we've got an incredible team. We've got 18 people. We've got a development and product management team that is so eager to solve problems, and a group of people that just identified this opportunity. You know, what we built was a software platform that's really extensible. And it turns out that keeping employees healthy and safe and well and being responsible and listening to your teams and making sure that they're capable of going into a workspace matters. And we had this incredible technology platform that we built. And when this pandemic hit, we said, we got to solve problems. And I got to give so much credit to Ian, because he said, I think this is a serious opportunity. And we're going to have the ability to leverage our technology to help so many organizations that are phasing people back into the office, or whether or not they're working remotely, it doesn't matter. They want to make sure that their teams feel engaged, they're looked after, they feel like they're part of something, and their health and wellness matters. And so we were able to leverage technology to create Hayday, which stands for How Are You Today? Because employers want to know how their employees are feeling every day. Employees want to know that they're valued.
And how exactly, Ian, does Hayday work?
Yeah, so the core of Hayday is a highly configurable daily check-in in which employees report to their employer where they are working and how they are feeling, how they are today. That could be both with regard certainly to symptoms or risk of exposure to COVID, but also more general wellness type questions, feedback around how they are faring working remotely or from home, or other general comments that they want to give to HR, for example. That survey data is fed back up to the parent company to make decisions of a couple different kinds. Certainly to track the health of individuals, but also gauge risk at a facility level to say, is this facility something that we feel comfortable keeping open? Do we need to enforce, let's say, traffic limits on how many people can be on site at the same time? Are we seeing a spike in certain symptoms that might necessitate a temporary closure, for example, and actually make some of those decisions and enforce some of those new protocols through their admin dashboards. I will say also, actually, just as a last piece, simply the documentation is a big part of the product as well. A lot of state and local governments are implementing new protocols, new regulations around the need for this type of screening from a regulatory compliance perspective. And so Hayday serves that need as well, so that businesses are creating something of a paper trail, essentially to mitigate legal risk, liability, as well as health risk.
And so now another follow-up question for you, Ian. As people head back to work amid a pandemic, what are some ways Hayday can help put employers and employees at ease when it comes to safety assurance?
Yeah. I think one of the things that's really interesting that we're learning is businesses are looking at implementing these measures for two really important reasons that circle back to positive health outcomes. One, they want their employees to know that they are taking steps to create a healthy work environment. Everybody has to be in it together, right? Somebody who might be feeling a little bit unwell knows they shouldn't and they can't come in because they will be screened out in that process, and they should work remotely if they have the option to do so. So these measures are really meant to build a communitarian attitude, ethos, first and foremost. Secondly, a lot of it is about building trust and rebuilding consumer confidence, especially in types of businesses where the on-site location is open to the public, be that a retail store or a co-working space or a hospitality venue, or perhaps a construction site or a manufacturing facility or a warehouse. Anywhere where people are coming in from the outside, either vendors or employees or consumers, you really want to reestablish confidence and trust that steps are being taken, that people are taking this seriously, and measures like Hayday are a big part of rebuilding, reestablishing that confidence.
So what's the response been like?
I gotta tell you, there were companies that we were dealing with beforehand that were Pinata clients that, never even realized that this was going to be a problem, or companies that we had wanted to work with that maybe weren't even using our other software that said, you know what, we're going to put our whole team on this. We want to make sure that we're really, really, really thinking about the right way to phase people back into a work environment that is realistically safe. And I never imagined 3.5 months ago that we were going to get this type of feedback. I said, we'll stand something up. Let's pressure test it. Let's see what happens. And I got to give Ian all this credit that he built this, and the team really put so much time and energy into it, but it's getting better and better every day. And everyone is willing to get on the phone, but they're telling us new things that they want, in new ways to consider developing, this software so it becomes more of a robust solution. But the community's been supporting it, and we're building it for the community. We're not building it for ourselves. We use it, but we're building it for companies. The addressable market is massive. And I never understood 3 months ago how big the opportunity was to help all these companies bring their teams out there in the field, on one platform to communicate. But I am so thrilled and really bullish on this thing. And I personally believe that it's far beyond COVID, and it's far beyond this pandemic. The feedback we're getting from employers is like, regardless of the pandemic, we want to make sure that our employees feel well every day. And like Ian said, is an HR compliance checkbox. I also think it's going to be a happiness checkbox. Companies are really going to want this.
I love it. And Ian, I'll have you chime in.
I think one thing that we've been surprised by, we originally built Hayday to be simple, out of the box, ready to implement as soon as the team is ready to go back to the office. We imagined, given its simplicity, that we would be really focused on the sort of SMB end of the market. And one thing that has been surprising in terms of the overall response is the appetite at the enterprise level as well for this type of standalone solution. Part of that is for legal reasons. Companies actually want this data set to live separately from other personnel data. But also a big part of that is companies already have pre-existing tools for lots of different things, and it's easier to have Hayday be a standalone, simple, out-of-the-box product for this new, urgently felt mission-critical need than try to bake that functionality into something that they're already using for a different part of their organization, let's say. So this message of simplicity, of ease, and honestly, the friendliness and kind of optimism of Hayday as a platform, I think has resonated certainly at the SMB end of the scale that we anticipated, but also all the way up to major enterprises. We have always taken the approach to enterprise software that even though this is work, it can be joyful, it can be beautiful, it can be fun. And we really wanted to double down on that in this particular use case, because it is otherwise sort of scary, sort of clinical, sort of medical, and new and personal. And in that sense, yes, we are asking you, have you been exposed to this disease? Do you have symptoms? Are you healthy? And those are certainly personal questions. I will, as an aside, say all of this is totally HIPAA and ADA compliant. But in addition to that, we also wanted to make it friendly, really a welcoming start to the workday, as opposed to a medical scary big brother check-in.
So let's talk about what's ahead for Hayday, what's in store for the next few months, and how people will be using this platform after COVID.
Over the next few months, we're going to see quite a bit of growth and traction, and small businesses, mid-market, and a lot of global enterprises coming on board. And we're going to be looking to develop a lot of partnerships with payrolling companies, time and attendance companies, benefits companies, insurance companies, health and wellness organizations that are phasing people back into spaces and gyms. But being able to partner and collaborate with other like-minded organizations is really such an important part of our mission, because we feel by collaborating, we will be able to serve so many. And you're going to start to see that Hayday has a little bit more of a voice out there. And it's not just a software solution. It's a brand that cares about how people feel every day. So what I anticipate that you'll see over the next few months is Hayday emerging as the market leader in this space. With quite a bit of opportunity ahead of us, we're going to be building our team.
It's interesting. Nobody anticipated this use case as of March or probably even April. We were able to take this to market very quickly because it is truly built on top of pre-existing enterprise software architecture that we've been working on for many years, and happen to actually power a pretty similar set of functions, although in an entirely different use case. So we have been able to take this software to market very quickly. I will say that there are certain large enterprise software solutions like a Salesforce that are starting to add this type of functionality into their pre-existing solutions. And that's really where we go back to, this is a quick and easy, safe and compliant standalone tool, and the value that comes from that. It's hard oftentimes in a larger organization to say, okay, now everybody needs a Salesforce account. Those are very expensive. And they do a million different things, but some people are only going to use it for health screening. By building something that is standalone, super simple, super easy to get started with, I think we actually deliver what the human resources community is looking for, which is a one-off solution to this new specific problem. Folks can go to gohayday.co, where they will be able to learn a lot more about the various features and benefits of Hayday, but also actually get started right away. It's free to set up and test the functionality yourself, and whenever you're ready, set up check-ins for the larger team. We don't actually charge until the whole team starts using it, so free to get started.